back. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're still sock puppets.
It happens.
Yep.
Okay, so first up for our second half of this video is Frankenstein Agents of Shade, number 10.
I'm really liking this comic now. It's kind of when Jeff Lemire's writing, which is funny because the other stuff that Jeff Lemire's taken over, I've really liked.
Yeah, it's been
But
pretty
I'm
amazing.
happy that he's not on this though. The guy that took over for him. Well, now I'm looking at the cover. It's actually telling us that Jeff Lemire wrote this one. That's kind of funny.
Whoops.
Anyway, I'm enjoying the book, Jeff Lemire or otherwise. I like the artist that's on it now. We've got this kind of interesting plot going where there's a mole inside of
The
Shade.
Shade, yeah.
And they end up going to this other dimension to talk to this agent that supposedly has exposed the agent and whatnot. And of course the dimension's all bizarre, it's all upside down and stuff, and so that's kind of cool.
And this dimension is the dimension that was previous to the New 52. How do we know that? At one point they're talking about how the Shade agents were dealing with a time sniper, which was Orion was killed through time with a bullet that was shot from the future, went through his head, and then into the past, so it was buried 50 miles deep into the ground during Final Crisis.
So that's pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice little tribute.
Yeah, yeah, kind of an interesting plot to use that thing, or you know. So I'm enjoying this book more and more. Actually, I mean, it's like I said, it's really picked up. The characters to some degree seem written differently. Our sidekicks, the commandos didn't seem nearly as one-dimensional.
Yes. I'm happy that they made Griffith still kind of wolfish, but not some meathead forms one-word sentences at a time.
Right,
like
and being a
before.
lapdog, a lapdog where he's just like, what do you say, boss? Okay, boss.
Yeah.
That was kind of old too.
And I like Velcro still.
Yeah. Well, obviously shows that he's kind of hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Went into that elevator, and he comes walking out of the elevator. You know, they show him the next scene. He's got some blood on him and whatnot, and all those guys are obviously been dealt with. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, what we rate this book?
I'd give it a 4, I think.
I'm between a 3 and a 4. Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoyed the art now. The art style that's on it is pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so next we're going to talk about Resurrection Man number 10. Comic that's going away.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I didn't tell you that?
It's being canceled?
Yes, it's being canceled.
Ah!
Yeah, like after issue 0, it's done. And guess what it's going to be replaced by?
What?
Who's your, air quotes, favorite writer?
Oh God, what is he writing?
Phantom Stranger.
Ah!
And because it's Phantom Stranger, I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm at least picking up the first issue.
We'll pick it up and we'll be like, oh, don't worry, it'll get better.
It's awful.
Oh, we got so screwed during it.
Anyway, let's talk about this one.
Okay, yes. This, unlike I'm sure Phantom Stranger will not be, is a good book. I like this book. I'm obviously sad that it
I think it's a bummer.
Going away. So, it's pretty much, Mitchell, right? Yeah.
Mitchell Shelley.
Yeah, Mitchell Shelley has resurrected, and this time his powers are manipulation over shadows. And kind of in this book, the whole thing is seen through the thoughts of the lady that he's hanging out with.
Yeah, his new companion, the psychic detective.
And they've broken into his supervillain who's in the retiring home.
Well, they think it's his lab to start out with, right? They think they're breaking into a lab that's his.
They break into his lab.
But they grab in the transmutation man or whatever it was. The guy was in the old folks' home, right? Yeah, it ends up being his lab. Well, a bunch of his stuff.
Yeah.
That tries killing them. Because all the protections are set on lethal. And they fight with that. But what's the most important thing that happens in the book?
So the same angel shows up that
tried harvesting him out of the airplane.
That obliterated him a while ago.
Yeah.
And this time she has more
Backup angels.
backup. And somehow, I mean, I know that he beat her last time, but he didn't really because he still got obliterated. So, I don't know, I almost think it would have made more sense to send somebody different who was a little bit more collected instead of the same person leading a whole flight of angels that could pulverize people.
Well, it's funny, is just some of them are swinging swords, some of them are shooting guns and whatnot, so they're not your stereotypical angels, that's for sure.
Sure. And then Hell shows up. Hell's like, hey.
Yeah, the demons, yeah.
I claim this guy. And they're like, no.
Right.
And
we represent this client or something like that. Yeah, kind of like lawyers, yeah.
And, yeah, so he ends up making a bargain with,
both of them, right?
Yeah, with both of them.
Give him a week.
Give him a week, and then whoever claims him first gets him.
Right, right. He gets a week to try and figure out his own stuff, and if he can't figure out his own stuff, then somebody can come and take his soul.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, heaven wants something to do with it. Hell thinks it's going to be pretty funny.
Yeah.
And they kind of all agree to it, and they take off.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. We got a couple issues. Hopefully, within this couple issues, they'll tie up some stuff and at least set him on a journey to where maybe the character can be used by somebody else down the road. Because you know what? I really like the character. As much as when this book first started, it wasn't on my pull. I bought the first issues thinking, I don't see how this book can last. There's no way every issue he can have a new power and die every time. And it's going to be cool. And here we are. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to the end of the issues.
We were all like, darn it, I want a zombie comic, not stupid resurrection man.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about the whole series as a whole when we get down to those last issues.
Yep. Okay.
So what are we talking about next?
So next up, we have the Sixth Gun.
Sixth Gun.
I'm pretty sure it's issue
23.
23.
Right?
Yep. 23.
Sixth Gun.
Yay.
Awesome book.
Different artist though.
Yeah, Tyler Cook.
Not bad, but not as good.
Right. He filled in for another issue too. He's on issue 2. He's doing right now. Normally, what his job is normally he's doing Hellboy stuff, Bird Spray stuff, as well as our PVRD. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so right in this one, it's mostly Kirby. He's our young suave thief gunslinger who tried stealing the guns once before and broke Becky's heart, kind of, and that sort of thing. He's going back to his employer. He gets back to his employer. His employer's been, bad stuff's happened.
Have been killed by Mrs. Humes.
Right. Well, we don't give away all the plot, but anyway. So, anyway, he goes and finds a map, goes to the Oracle tree that's at the beginning of one of the first issues of the book.
That Drake Sinclair promises he'll bring the map, but then doesn't.
Right.
And even though you only get one...
Kirby does the same thing. He gives them the same deal, right?
I'll burn the map, but instead he's like, hey, 3 questions.
Yeah.
And so they give him the 3 questions. Let's see, what else does he ask?
Well, where the heck are...
Where are Drake Sinclair and Becky? What else does he ask after that?
It wasn't 3, it was just one other question. He asked them one other question.
Oh, that's right, just another question.
The other question basically
is does Becky still love me? And then they answer, yes, but she's still going to shoot you.
She's still going to kill you, or shoot you or something like that. So this is pretty... But he does burn the map.
Yes, he does
burn the map, and so the tree's gone. Never to be seen again.
Yep.
They're all free. So interesting. It's interesting because Kirby's not a bad guy. He's just out for his own whatever, and he's not any worse than like Drake Sinclair is. That's for sure. Of course.
No,
Drake could be a really bad guy. Still loving this comic. It's a great comic, and I still think everybody should be picking it up. What would we rate it?
I give it a 5. No, never mind.
No, I give it a 4.
I give it a 4. Yeah.
Had the Red River Argus Thunder, probably a 5. Yeah. For sure. Okay, last we're going to talk about one of our rare Marvel books. We're going to talk about X-Men, number 30. Not Ultimate X-Men, not Uncanny X-Men, not X-Men Wolverine, just flat X-Men. And the reason we picked this book up is Brian Wood is writing it. This is his first issue on this. And I've been wanting to try out some X-Men, so I thought this would be a place to jump on that and see what we could figure out with it. What'd you think?
I liked it. I like the character lineup. It's pretty interesting. Storm, I've always liked Storm. And then we have somebody who is like a mental ninja. We haven't really seen that come into play yet, but this is
Psylocke?
This is This is our first issue. Right. And then we have the lady who manipulates luck.
Domino.
Domino.
Right.
That's cool.
We don't either one of those characters.
I wonder if maybe if her luck manipulation is she can manipulate her own luck and other people's luck, because in that case she could cause herself to have super duper good luck and everybody else to have horrible luck, right?
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't know if she has what control she has over her luck yet, but either way. When we first heard about this book, we heard a story that his daughter, who loves princesses and stuff, she's going through that princess phase.
Well, it's not just that so much as the fact is that she's at an age now where she's actually curious as to what Brian is doing for work. What are you doing? And of course, he writes all this independent stuff that's all kind of edgy, dark, and doom and gloom and whatnot, and not anything that he could really show her.
Yes.
So he made it a point of making sure that Pixie was on the
new
team, so he could at least show her that and go, oh look, I'm writing about this, you know, girl with fairy wings and whatnot. Yeah, pretty funny.
So yeah, I thought that was.
And then finally, last person's on the team.
Colossus.
Yeah.
Who's bald.
Well, yeah, bald. Can anybody tell me what's up with him being bald? Because back when I used to read the X-Men in the 80s, he had hair.
Yeah, is he just bald or?
Did he shave his head? Because I haven't seen him in human form to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so what do we actually think of the book? You told them the lineup.
Okay.
What did you think of the actual book?
I like the story. Seems pretty interesting. We find out that there's actually they find mutant DNA way before there was actually
ancient time mutant DNA.
Ancient mutant DNA.
Right.
So that in itself is pretty crazy. And Storm is keeping that from Scott.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which I find cool.
Her line to Scott, that's like, She's supposed, right? They're supposed to be like a squad that's supposed to be like the hit squad to protect the mutants. So interesting that she's keeping this stuff from the leader.
Yeah, that's okay with me because I don't like Scott anyway.
Yeah,
so you know, if they're one-upping him, that's fine with me. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, I like Storm. She's pretty cool. I think it's cool that she's the leader of this team.
For sure.
She definitely seems like she would.
She should be the leader of all the X-Men.
Okay, I have no argument there. I don't think Scott should be at least.
And she should have a mohawk. Mohawk story was awesome. Go read some old books. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I liked it though. I thought it was good. I liked the art. I liked the story.
Yeah, we're gonna get the next couple issues. We're buying them off the shelf right now. I'm not sure what I think of it because here's my problem. Not only is it a $3.99 book, it also double ships. It's twice a month, so every 2 weeks, and I'm not real keen on that. I'm not so hung up on it being $3.99 because I do read other books that are around that price. It's just the fact is that it's twice Defenders is Defenders $3.99 or is it $2.99?
It's $3.99 because Punisher's $2.99 because we keep saying that we pay $3.99.
Right. But my issue is that it's twice a
week.
It's twice a month.
Month, I mean.
Yeah, and so I don't know how the creators keep up with that,
oh God.
and I don't know how my wallet keeps up with that. So we'll see what happens down the road. Anyway, I like the book. I think it's gonna be an interesting storyline. The sneaky and subterfuge that's going on and all that stuff makes it
I
cool.
give it a solid 3.
I give it a solid 3 also. So I think that's it for this week. We got more comics on the way coming up. In a couple days, we'll get 2 more weeks worth of comics, and I'm sure we'll be on reviewing those. Anyway, have a good one.
Bye.